On this week's upgrade from MAGFAST, how we keep you safe online and with our products. Seymour and Kate struggle with a terrible Zoom connection. Hello? And what happens when you grace us with your credit card online? It's all on the upgrade from MAGFAST. Hello and welcome to the upgrade. I'm Seymour Segnet. With me is Kate. Hello, Kate.
Hi.
There was a bit of a delay there. Are you orbiting the moon or something?
Yeah, no. Yeah, I said yes,
but
no.
Yes, but no, but just a Zoom delay. All right. Kate and I here, as always, for your weekly upgrade. Remember, if you stay all the way through towards the end, Kate, we're going to do what? We're going to have the secret
word.
The secret word.
Keyword.
I'm loving this delay. Which, when you enter it on our website, you get some extra chances to win in the $1,000 draw. So stand by for that. This week, I wanted to do. Look, we're kind of in a couple of businesses here, right? We're in the power business, the power management business, the charging business. That's the product, the service that we're providing. But you guys know we're also in crowdfunding, which places an extra duty upon you to make sure that you're checking us out and dealing with good people, and an extra duty on us to make sure that we look after you. And so I asked Kate to, who spends much of her working time in customer service, to just go through and come up with some of the questions folks ask in this area of trust and safety. What are the things that we do to keep you safe online, keep you safe with our products, keep you safe working with us? So did you gather a few of those questions together, Kate?
Yes, I have a bunch, and what I'll do is I'll read through all of them. And then
I'm going to suggest that because there's a delay... but actually, because there's a delay, why don't you read through all the questions first, and then I will go through. I'll go through the answers, and you can chip in, and we'll have more comedy from the delay at that point, but it won't infest us the whole time. How about that? Okay.
Okay, sounds good. Okay, so my first question is, well, not my question, this is Jeff's question.
Jeff.
Okay, so your range of products are brilliantly designed for incredible ease of use. However, one piece of very important information about the MAGFAST Extreme is missing, specifically the safety aspect of the unit and what safety circuits and short circuit mitigation designs are built in if the unit short circuits.
Okay. Jeff sounds like he has a good engineering brain. That's a great question. Thank you. What's next?
Mm-hmm. Okay. The next question is from Linda. It's about MAGFAST wall. She asks, what part is self-sacrificing then? The part of the circuit or a resistor that pops/melts with a circuit?
Self-sacrificing, darling, that's me. Oh, MAGFAST wall. Got it. Okay, we'll do that in a minute.
Okay, so next question is from Jane. She says, MAGFAST employs a magnetic system. Is it safe for people with pacemakers and defibrillators? Okay. Next questions are about our various certifications. Are the Lightning connections Apple MFI compliant? That is from Jan. Next, is this product going to be UL/ETL listed? That's from Richard. And from Peggy, she says, are you thinking of seeking certification from Google for the MAGFAST wireless products so that the Qi charging rate is comparable to Google manufactured products? We have one more. The next one is from Steven, and he says, so what happens if it never actually ships?
Dagger to the heart. All right, thank you, Stephen. It's a fair question. It's a little bit like the instructions they give you when you get on the plane in the unlikely event of an emergency. But so, Steve, it is an unlikely event. We're thrilled with how everything is going. But yeah, there's obviously more risk attached to pre-ordering something from a new crowdfunding company than there is ordering from a well-known brand on Amazon. There's a couple of things about it. First of all, you shouldn't do it unless you feel completely comfortable. We work like crazy to make you comfortable, but you should only do it if you want to be part of the journey. Because part of the reason we do these upgrades is to make sure that you're getting value anyway, regardless of anything on top of the products that you'll eventually get. The other, more specifically, is that we pay huge fees to the credit card companies because actually ultimately they are responsible to you. All right, we pay fees to them that essentially acts as an insurance policy. So that's the ultimate backstop. We don't think that it's going to be necessary. We pay fees to them, and they hold reserve amounts of money. You know, a very significant proportion of the pre-order money that you guys have, in good, given with the intention of it being available to us to do our job, is actually being held by the credit card companies. But that's the way it goes. All right, so let's go through some of these answers. I wanted to just talk first of all about design, because I think the first question was to do with safety. Safety is the one thing that we will never compromise as we design the products. I've got a slide up here that says optimal design. Every aspect is considered. Safety we will never compromise on, which makes it slower and more expensive to do. And it also means, for instance, I'll give you an example. You've heard of lithium-ion battery chemistry. It's very, very widely used. It also took Boeing out of business for many months a few years ago, if you remember, after those fires on board, and Samsung had a terrible year. When was that? I forget when it was. But you remember a few years ago, one of the models had real problems with the phones not even being allowed on planes because of safety instances that occurred. So we're using lithium. You remember that? It was really, really bad. So we're using lithium polymer, which is a much more stable chemistry. It's a solid state chemistry. The chance of leaking is a fraction of what it is. I mean, it's to all intents and purposes, it's zero. This is way safer than most of the other batteries that you've got around the place. Costs more money to us. It isn't. It's not. It can be an individual layer of it can be thinner, but it's not as overall for any particular amount of power to be stored. It's bigger. That's unhelpful to us in the design process because we're already packing a lot in there. But I mean, if we're going to be, we're aiming to be the Apple, the Tesla, the you name it. We're aiming to be the premium brand that you're really proud to be involved with, really proud to own, that's going to last for years. So we can't be about compromising on safety. And when we think of this guy on the screen now, MAGFAST Extreme, this obviously is a graphic. It isn't made out of glass like this, but in this glass one where you can see the.
Oh, can I chime in?
Please do.
Quick? We actually get a lot of people saying that they want us to offer a clear version of this product, or
really
an air. They think it looks so
really.
Cool. I love the idea, but I don't know the engineering. But I think it'd be really cool.
It's fair enough that you are. So the engineering about it isn't particularly hard because once you've made the mold, you can throw different types of plastic into the mold. The challenge is that to make it economically viable, you have to make in very, very large quantities. So for us to commit to making all the chargers looking like this is a major business undertaking. It's one of the questions, because you also, Kate, don't you? You also get people saying, hey, I'd love it in purple, or I'd love it in pink, or whatever. Like people suggest different colours all the time, am I right? And it seems so simple, doesn't it? Because we live in the Western world. You know, you go to Target and you see any number of products in any number of different colours, and it seems so easy. From a manufacturing point of view, really the minimum order quantity is 5,000 units of something, and to make 5,000 shells for a product is a commitment of many, many, many tens of thousands of dollars. So you've really got to know that you're going to be able to sell something before you start making additional colours. But what you have said has been heard, Kate, and everybody should stay tuned. Maybe at some point there'll be some way of getting something using this kind of glassy look. Wouldn't that be amazing? We're certainly not.
I would love it. I think it looks.
Well, the first one, if it ever.
I think it looks cool because you can. Sorry. There's a delay again.
But you were saying because.
I would love it because you can see like all the components inside, and I think it would be super cool just to like see what's inside your electronics. I don't have any electronics that are clear that I can actually see into, and I love that idea.
In this case, of course, you're looking through the glass and you're seeing nothing inside other than the battery, because and the little connectors, the little gold-plated connectors, because that's what this picture was for. It was just to show off the battery. All right, let's move on. But it is a fun idea, isn't it? 500 amp battery, very important that we take the safety there seriously. I've explained in the past that whilst other people are claiming higher amperages, that may be true, but it won't be consistently true for as long. We've got the lithium polymer chemistry that will last and last over and over and over again. No battery lasts forever, but we really have gone for the premium one that as it ages does not risk expanding and cracking open the case and all these terrible things that are known to happen elsewhere. Inside electronics, here's the back of MAGFAST Life. Look at that on the back. You can see fingerprint. That's actually, not even talking about that today, but fingerprint itself is a whole major commitment to your safety and security. Fingerprint is our anti-counterfeit. It's actually many things, but one of the things it is an anti-counterfeit system so that you can scan our products and make sure that they're authentic. And if you lose them, then someone finds it lying around in the coffee shop, can scan it and get your product back to you. But anyway, I wasn't showing you this for fingerprint. I was showing it to you for the Qi symbol there in the middle. Behind the Qi symbol, in the middle of the screen right there, is this, which is a Qi coil, and this is to bring power in. The Qi coil, certified Qi, connected to special electronics that has protection against surges in electric fields, in magnetic fields, in electromagnetic fields, you name it. And the Qi specification itself, which we meet and exceed, is very, very strict. You know, it's one of these things where you read the document and it's hundreds of pages of technical stuff, all of which we meet. MAGFAST double the power. SP2X is SP surge protection, 2X 2 times in a double. SP2X includes all kinds of goodies within it for your safety, including the surge protection is done by, I always forget what it's called. It's called MOV. What is it, Kate? It's metal, Oprah. Everything O is Oprah, right? So metal oxide Varista. Metal Oprah in verite, which absorbs and dissipates the heat, which she's done for decades. But yeah, it absorbs and dissipates the heat. And the way it works is if you have either a bad surge in electrical power, like from a lightning strike. We had a huge storm come through here up the East Coast a few weeks ago. You have some very extreme weather in Texas, right, Kate, from time to time. So you get a lightning strike going through your house. Delicate electrical equipment, of course, can be fried by that. So we have built-in surge protection in the SP2X model. So it can take a lightning strike, but it can also take if you have what's called dirty power. So in other words, your local provider of electricity is sending power that's kind of up and down and up and down. Some of those little peaks and valleys, the peaks can produce little surges in your equipment. And so this MOV, the metal oxide Verista, will over time absorb those, and eventually over many years it can kind of run out of power. And it is what's called self-sacrificing, which is that it dies rather than your more expensive equipment that is connected dying. So that's surge protection. And with the folks we work with have done this kind of for years at a kind of an industrial level and at a consumer level. And it's just another of the things that we do to look after you. And in fact, on the question of connected equipment, you may not be aware that all MAGFAST products come with a 3-year warranty that includes $10,000 kind of protection against connected devices. So our stuff is so safe. We know it's not going to hurt your stuff, so we give you a 3-year $10,000 cover. So if ever you believed that something of yours was damaged by being plugged into something of ours, and if ever it turned out to be true, it won't. But if it did turn out to be true, then we cover you for up to $10,000. And the promise we make, Kate, is what? It is that our
stuff doesn't
delay on the satellite won't ruin the whole
damage your
show. That's right. Our stuff won't hurt your stuff. And 3-year, you can expand the cover a little bit. So it's called MAGFAST Care. MAGFAST Care Plus is also a 3-year warranty. Adds priority support and express replacement if ever you need your stuff replaced for any reason. We have an express service for that. And for a few dollars extra, MAGFAST Care Plus is 6 years, doubling the duration of all of that. So all of that cover and everything for not for 3, but for 6 years. And it doesn't just double the length; it also adds some warranty if you have accidental loss or damage. Then we help you out with that as well. And we can't just replace. We can't just have people calling up and saying, "Oh, I've lost it. Send me another one." We can't do that. That's not plausible. But if you genuinely have lost or damaged, we're going to give you a great break on replacing the equipment, because we want you to still be using your MAGFAST stuff for years to come. Back to Extreme. I want to talk about safety on Extreme for a second. Remember, we said 500 amps. At the peak there, so that obviously needs some care. And here's the bottom of Extreme. I think we did a whole update about how beautiful the bottom of Extreme is. But if you look at this, if I just lift off the cover here, you can see underneath that's the connector, and those two red dots. First of all, this cover, the cover I just took off, is a silicon insulator. And other people who offer jump starting batteries, they always have a kind of a cover that goes over that. They don't generally have, we've never seen anybody who has this second level of cover, which is that these two little silicon, let me just zoom in on it. This is what it looks like without these guys. This is what the other folks have, is these bare metal prongs here. Now, this is the funny thing about electricity. It's only 12 volts. So strangely, that means if you were to connect you across it with your fingers, you'd kind of be the same. It's like just a 12 volt battery. It's no big deal. But if you connect metal across it, it can move a lot of amps very, very quickly indeed. So we have a second layer of protection, which is these silicon tips, these kind of orangey red silicon tips that go on there, which means that the chances of anything touching it are extremely remote, and really the connection can only be made intentionally, either by plugging in the jumper cables as designed, or by someone who's trying to, who's an engineer trying to do some work. Who gets in there to make some sort of a connection, or use one of those voltage testers or something like that. All right. Am I making sense, Kate? I feel like sometimes I'm rambling like a deranged citizen. Am I making sense here? All this? Okay.
Yes.
Good.
Yes, you make sense.
Yes, you pay me, so I'm going to say that you make sense. All right. Next, magnets. Someone was asking about the magnets, right, Kate? About is it safe with your defibrillator? It wasn't defibrillator, but the medical equipment. The answer is these are just magnets. They're just magnets. So you need to take the same care with our magnets as you would with any other magnets. The best way to think about ours, even though this one on the screen now looks enormous, doesn't it? It looks like the sort of looks like the size of a kind of baby carriage or a car or something, or a wheelbarrow. They're tiny little things, just a few millimeters long, like so, and. Think of it, do you have any of those like really strong fridge magnets? Like not just a magnet, but the ones that are like, super strong, the little ones, like that? Yeah? Mm-hmm. Don't leave me hanging. You have some of those? Yeah? Okay. So we're using essentially that kind of magnet technology. And fun fact, I didn't know this until I went to the factory a few months ago. Magnet factories, by the way, are impossible. Like when you visit factories, there can be obviously some kind of grimier ones, and then there could be some cleaner ones. Magnet factory is impossible to not be grimy because of just the business of the way that they're forming the magnets the whole time. There's kind of like oil and stuff involved. So the whole place winds up with this sort of film of oil over the place. It's really, really crazy. And when I went there, I was like, hey, I want to take film of all the factories for people back home. They're going to love it. And so I went in there, and I had my camera out ready for the magnet factory. And I'm like, no, this doesn't look so good. So I put it away right away. But the guys there know what they're doing. And here's I didn't know this. When they make the magnets, it isn't a magnet when they're making it. Did you know this, Kate? It isn't a magnet when they're making it. It's a ferrous metal with various properties and various elements within the mix so that it can be a magnet, but it isn't a magnet when they're making it. And they shape it and form it, and the shape that's on the screen right now is actually quite a difficult one to make, because you can't just get a tool in and cut 20 of them at a time. They each have to be individually, again, MAGFAST going the long, hard route and making it really well. Each one has to be individually formed. And then when they've got a whole bunch of them, they go to a big machine. They put all the magnets in together like this, and it's this machine which with huge metal coils around like this. It's like, enormous thing like this. And it's a bit like at the dentist, when they go over there and they go around the corner when they do an X-ray of you, they kind of go over here, they go, ka-chung! Right, and there's this very fast, very heavy current goes through the coil, and in a fraction of a second magnetizes them up to these very high levels of magnetism. All right, so normal magnet care as you would with anything else, with a fridge magnet, with speakers, anything else that has magnets in. Of course, you have to be careful around some kinds of medical equipment, but if you own that kind of equipment, you should be being careful with it anyway. So our MAGFAST products just require normal magnet care. There's nothing. They don't require any sort of exceptional care in that regard. One of the questions was about certifications. Oh. One of the questions in there, Kate, was about Google. Are we going to get Google certified for wireless charging or something? Is that right? Mm-hmm. I think this is what this is referring to. It doesn't exist anymore. Google briefly in the past wanted manufacturers to get specially certified for Pixel 3. It's not a good thing when individual manufacturers, even if they're as big as Google, try and get special certifications for their stuff. The industry works much better when there are broad industry standards. Google gave up on that. It's not true for the Pixel 4 and later. So we are certified for all of the main industry standards. We're aiming to do those brilliantly, exceed the standards, and then everybody makes to that standard, everything works together, life is good. So, very quickly, of course, Apple's MFI program, our lightning connectors, the tips and the cables, MFI made for iPhone, the Apple Watch connector, we already have a bunch of those sitting waiting for manufacturing, certified made for Apple Watch, and that's a very high standard indeed. If you're a small company, it's fairly easy to get the kind of marketing MFI certification, right? Provided that you are offering MFI products that are made to MFI standards, it's fairly easy to get the marketing permission to do that. But to get a certified factory, if you're a factory owner, it is insane. The standards that you have to reach to be an MFI certified factory, and we of course only work with MFI certified factories. We're also one of the questions I think was about UL and ETL, right, Kate? Which is to do with it's actually standards for all kinds of things. We're making all of our stuff to what's commonly called the UL standard because UL were the first company around to do it. Underwriters Laboratories, so they were the original authors of these standards for all of these products, but they're now industry wide. A number of different companies do it. We actually work with a company called ETL that tests to exactly the same rigorous standards. We have a pre-existing relationship with them. They're great guys, and it's still very expensive, but it is a little quicker and sort of administratively easier. We have found working with ETL, but it's still the same, very, very high standard. We are certifying MAGFAST wall, which plugs into your wall before any of them will ship. All of the other products are made to that standard, but nobody else bothers to certify to them. But we're making sure that everything is built to that, built to all of those specifications. I mentioned Qi Wireless, Google's little excursion with the Pixel 3 to one side. We're members of the Wireless Power Consortium. You can actually go to wirelesspowerconsortium.org or whatever it is called. You can type in MAGFAST on their search and you can see us come up there. They've got the world's most basic database. You can type in the name of, Google or LG or one of the biggest companies in the world, and this tiny little window comes up without a logo, like with the most basic looking search function you can imagine. And you do that with us and we come up with a logo. Just goes to show you, see, we're ahead. But yeah, you can check us out there. We're on the Wireless Power Consortium, and then again, working with certified factories, making sure that everything is to and exceeds the Qi standard. That was amazing when we did LED-licious. I'm not talking about that this week, but making sure that the lights are communicating clearly with you and meeting their standard, which does not have anything to do with clarity. It just has to do with electrical engineering specifications. Was something. And as a result of all of this, most people who look at us think we're okay and trustworthy and doing a good job. Where Google has us, I think, at 4.8 and Trustpilot at 4.7 last time I checked. Of course, there's a few haters out there. We love I know it isn't you, but there's probably is a hater watching as well, and we love them just as much, don't we, Kate? Kate,
Yes,
Kate, we love the haters just as no, but thank you. Like 99.9% of people are just supporting us in the most incredible way. We're incredibly blessed with the kind of backing and support that you guys are giving and have given us in some cases for many years. And then just finally on the website, a bunch of things we're doing there. There's the security certificate, right, that you have for to keep a website safe. You know, says that your data is safe in transit. We now have as anybody really should, we have the whole website is now secure, whether or not there's secure information happening on the page. And instead of having a free or a cheap security certificate, we have I think it's $1,200 or $1,300 a year for the Norton, now owned by DigiCert, a certificate, which is the kind of highest grade certificate with all sorts of insurance if there's a breach and this, that, and the other. Because we just want to make sure, and it gives it's what's called EV, extended validation. So you should get the green bar. Different browsers do it in different ways, but you get an indicator in the bar that you're on a secure website. When you do that, McAfee Secure, we have McAfee come and check out our website. I think it's every day. They come and they run a battery of tests trying to find, security breaches. You see, we're McAfee secured the whole time. PCI compliance, that's from the credit card industry. Again, these endless certifications and tests and questionnaires to make sure that we're running the site in a way that is secure. Norton shopping guarantee in the upper right there. That's a 30-day program after the transaction. Is to give people a sense that, if within 30 days something turns out not to be right, they offer some coverage for that. I don't believe anybody has ever claimed under it, because why should they? We're doing the right thing here. And there's a bunch of other things we do, but the last one here on the screen, you can see the credit card there with everything but the last 4 digits crossed out. We do not store your credit card information. We don't want it. We don't care about it. What we do is, whenever there's a transaction on our website, it is sent immediately to what's called a gateway in the credit card industry. We use a company called NMI. You may have heard of Authorized.net and Stripe and some of these other people. NMI is one of these top tier players, bank grade encryption and this, that, and the other. They process all of that information. We do not store any of it at all, because storing it is incredibly hard and complicated to do to the standard that is required, and it's completely unnecessary for ordinary businesses to be storing your information. If you know one that does, they really shouldn't be doing it. So we send it all off to NMI. If you're one of our payment plan folks, thank you so much for being a part of this. If you're on a payment plan, then just our system just pings NMI once a month and says, can you just run a few dollars, whatever the amount is, and it runs it for us. So yeah, we do not store your credit card information. And that, I think, doesn't Kate, does that just about cover everything from the list, I think?
Yes, that's everything, I think.
Is that everything? In that case, let's wrap up quickly, because we're running long, I know, today. Thank you for your patience staying with us. We do have this week's secret word. You're going to go to magfast.com/fun for extra chances to win and our $1,000 prize. The administrator of the $1,000 extreme prize draw is with me now. Kate, what is this week's trusted secret word, please?
It's trusted.
It's trusted. The secret word this week is trusted, is the trusted secret word. So you go to magfast.com/fun. Log in. You might need to log in there if it doesn't recognize you from a previous visit. There's a company called Gleam that runs the little competition software to make sure that that's all kosher, as they say. And you get an extra 3 chances to win. And there's other things you can do while you're there to get additional chances to win in the $1,000 draw. And that, I think, Kate, does that wrap everything up? Can we let everybody get back to their days, to their lives? So thank you so much. Thank you, Kate, for being here with us. Thank you to the rest of our amazing team. Don't we have an amazing team we work with, Katie? And thank you for being a part of MAGFAST. We genuinely could not do this without you. Thank you for your love and for your support. We're here working really hard to make you proud. And we're just, I've said this before in the last couple of weeks, but we're just kind of at this point in it now. It's kind of after this long development process. Things are starting to move very quickly. As I speak, we're testing, we hope the final life sample. LE Delicious is looking amazing. It was one of the things, like, we designed it beautifully, but will it be as good on the actual product? We're really pleased with that. But I want to let the Sean and the engineering kind of really beat that up before, because we only get like a couple of samples because they're incredibly expensive and hard to make at this stage until we manufacture them. So he's got them at the moment, but I do want to show you those sometime in the next couple of weeks. All right, thank you so much. Love you. See you next week.